go into the villages and towns, let's say you scroll down, so City of Plattsburgh has created their own law. You can scroll down, or not Town of Plattsburgh, I mean city, I meant Town of Plattsburgh, I'm sorry. You can scroll down. Boy, this is hard with your mouse, I'm not used to a mouse. Town of Plattsburgh, I'm sorry. So you go to the Town of Plattsburgh, you can scroll down, and they do have their own law as of May 8th, 2025. And every town can create their own law however you see fit. Like I said, you can put 2 lines in your dog law. One says no tethering in extreme temperatures. For instance, sometimes with some people you have to spell out extreme temperatures. What is extreme temperatures? To me, anything over 85, 90 degrees, I don't think a dog should be chained up outside. That's a little bit warm for me. Anything under 32 degrees, of course, depending upon the breed, and you can put that in your law, breed specific. But I don't believe that even a husky needs to be outside 24/7, 365 on a chain. But the point being, you can scroll through the towns and you can see who's created their local law, and you yourselves could decide what would suit your town if this is something you wanted to do. The town of Champlain, Rouse's Point, Ausable, Village of Champlain, they've all created tether laws. The city of Plattsburgh is working on their law. Schuyler Falls is reviewing a law to see if it's something they want to do. Ellenburg has their public hearing August 19th to see if they're going to put a law in place. But all we're asking is that maybe you guys would consider leading and showing the rest of the county that you believe that animals do deserve a little bit more than being in our yard ornament. It's good for the community. It shows you have compassion for animals. And when people don't have compassion for animals, they don't generally have compassion for people either. It's just a fact. So anyway, this is our website. There's a lot of good information on here if you were to go through. You could see the law we proposed at the county. You could read and learn why I started this entire fight and what we've been through. There's a list of dog control officers. This is a good one right here. Dog tethering laws in the US. If you scroll down, you can see all the places in the United States. This is where tethering is prohibited, completely prohibited. You cannot do this to a dog in these places in the United States. This is not anything new. We're just very, very behind. In some places in the United States, we've had laws like this for 20 years. Essex County has had theirs since 2016, and it is 2025. If you scroll down, keep scrolling, it's a lot of locations. This is places that permit chaining for a limited amount of time. As you can see, Village of Rouse's Point, Ausable, Village of Champlain, Cattanegua, Town of Plattsburgh, Dutchess County, Essex County, Hempstead, New York. These, you can see all our locations. But you can just keep on scrolling, lots and lots of places. And all of them have very different laws. So literally, sky's the limit, whatever suits your needs. And if you scroll to the very bottom, that's a lot of places, right? If you scroll to the very bottom, the following states have dog tethering laws in place. So these are statewide laws in place. And you will see that we've got Connecticut right next door to us. We've got Maine, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Vermont. We are surrounded by local state laws. New York just hasn't gotten theirs on board yet. So anyway, that's everything. I would like to say one more thing, and that this is not a ban on keeping dogs outdoors. We just don't like a chain. We don't believe that a dog should spend its entire life on a chain. You have a prison down the road. Dogs want to live life, not serve life. They didn't go to prison, right? That's the way I feel. So, does anybody have any questions? That's all I had.
No question. I do have a comment for you, though.
Sure.
I don't have them anymore, but I raised actually a registered blue tick and Walker Coonhounds for 25 years.
Okay.
They were all tethered.
Mm-hmm.
And they got their fresh water morning and night, and so these dogs were taken out at night for their hunting capabilities, for coon hunting, right? I can tell you that I took extremely good care of my dogs. They had very well insulated dog houses. They had probably the top, best food you could buy for them. They were not abused. They weren't suffering from any heat exhaustion. In cold winter nights, when it got, the wind chill would be 25, 30 below, I moved them into the barn where they'd be out of the wind. So I think it's a responsibility of the owner to have good standards of taking care of their animals. You know, I raise horses, I raise Holstein heifers, and you know what? They didn't sit out in the cold. But to that other point, I just want to mention, there's no way I was bringing my, one of them, Turk, was my grand champion. There's no way I'd have brought him into my house, because he would have marked the entire house with his, knowing that, hey, I have new territory. I'm going to show you where I'm going to put my new territory. So no way that I'd have brought those dogs into my home, but they were very well taken care of, very well fed, never malnourished, never thirsty at all. So to me, if there's an issue with someone not able to treat their dogs, or any type of animal for that fact, not just a dog, dogs, cats, horses, and I've seen horses in starvation mode, and you know, you don't see a lot of things about that, but they go after the owner that has that horse in a starvation mode. I think the owner needs to be responsible for how they're treating the overall condition of that certain animal, whether it's a dog, cat, horse, whatever. So, like I said, I have a lot of experience in having dogs tethered outside for 25, 30 years, and they were extremely well taken care of and in good shape.
Well, two things I gotta say, is you mentioned you brought them in the barn when it was extremely cold. Not everybody will do that. They believe if they have food, shelter, and water, well, the food could be frozen, the water could be frozen, that there's nothing animal control can do to help that dog. In the case of that dog in Husky, the Husky out in Moores that we tried to help, 30 people complained over the course of 6 months, and because of the current statute in New York state law, nothing could be done to help those dogs. And another point being, the law we proposed to the county had a hunting dog exemption. If you look right there in section 8, we just wanted to help the ones that were being neglected the most. In your case, it doesn't sound like you are neglecting them, but in other cases they are. So we included a hunting dog exemption with proof. If somebody were to go to your house, you show them that these are hunting dogs. You know, certificates, breeding certificates. You could put that in your Dannemora law because you believe that hunting dogs should be exempt. And we don't have a problem. We want to stop the extreme cases of neglect, the people that are not taking care of their dogs.
Okay.
You know?
Got
And
it.
unfortunately, because New York law does not have anything that says you can't leave your dog indefinitely for its entire life on a chain, it doesn't sit right with us. So that's why we're trying to get these laws in place.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions, maybe? You could go to our website. It's Clinton County, New York, spelled out, tetherinklaw.com, and you can read up for hours and hours and see everything that we've been up to. We've been working really hard, and it really just comes down to stopping long-term tethering of dogs and tethering of dogs in extreme weather. We don't feel like we're trying to implement the death penalty in Clinton County, but there's a lot of people that think we are. You're just trying to stop this, so
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Appreciate it.
I
Thank
don't
you.
know how to do that.
Okay.